In the rapidly evolving landscape of American politics, few figures have risen with the speed and impact of Charlie Kirk. From a young, ambitious high school student to the founder of one of the most influential conservative youth organizations, his journey has been anything but ordinary. But what drives this relentless advocate for conservative principles? What shaped his early views, and how did he manage to build a movement that resonates with millions? Today, we delve deep into the life story of Charlie Kirk, exploring the key moments, challenges, and triumphs that have defined his path up to this very moment, September 13th, 2025.
Chapter 1. The Formative Years. Roots in the Suburbs.
Charles J. Kirk was born on October 23, 1993 in Arlington Heights, Illinois. His upbringing was, in many ways, quintessential suburban American. His father, Robert W. Kirk, was an author and former advertising executive, and his mother, Roxanne, worked in education. Growing up in the Chicago suburbs, Charlie attended Prospect High School in Mount Prospect, Illinois. While many teenagers are primarily focused on social lives and academics, Kirk began to show an early and keen interest in politics and conservative thought. It was during these high school years that the seeds of his future activism were truly sown. He wasn't just observing, he was actively engaging, forming opinions, and beginning to question the prevailing narratives around him. This period would lay the groundwork for a career dedicated to challenging the status quo.
Chapter 2. The Genesis of an Idea. High School Activism.
It was during his senior year of high school that Charlie Kirk's political leanings truly solidified. He became concerned about the perceived liberal bias in educational institutions and the broader media. This concern wasn't passive, it fueled action. Kirk became a regular blogger for Breitbart News and other conservative outlets, expressing his views on various political issues. More significantly, he wrote an op-ed for the Hinsdale Doings newspaper, critical of what he saw as rising tuition costs and the increasing administrative bloat in universities. This piece caught the attention of Bill Montgomery, a conservative businessman and talk radio host. Montgomery saw potential in the young Kirk, recognizing his passion and articulate communication skills. This fateful connection would soon lead to something far larger than a high school op-ed.
Chapter 3. Founding Turning Point USA.
A movement begins. In 2012, at just 18 years old, Charlie Kirk, with the invaluable mentorship and financial backing of Bill Montgomery, co-founded Turning Point USA, TPUSA. The organization's mission was clear: to identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. This was a pivotal moment, marking Kirk's transition from a high school blogger to a national conservative leader. TPUSA aimed to counter the perceived liberal dominance on college campuses and empower young conservatives. The initial days were grassroots, fueled by passion and a strong belief in their mission. Kirk chose not to attend a traditional four-year university, instead dedicating himself full-time to building TPUSA. This decision underscored his deep commitment and his belief that direct action was more impactful than a conventional academic path for his goals.
Chapter 4. Rapid Growth and Campus Controversies.
Under Kirk's leadership, TPUSA experienced explosive growth. By the mid-2000s, it had established a presence on hundreds of college campuses across the country, organizing events, inviting conservative speakers, and engaging students in political discussions. This rapid expansion, however, did not come without its share of controversy. TPUSA became known for its aggressive tactics, including its Professor Watch List, which aimed to expose professors perceived as promoting left-wing propaganda. This initiative drew significant criticism from academics and civil liberties advocates, who accused it of chilling academic freedom and encouraging harassment. Despite, or perhaps because of these controversies, Kirk and TPUSA garnered national attention, solidifying their role as a prominent voice in conservative youth activism. The organization's events often became flashpoints in the ongoing culture wars on college campuses, bringing both praise and condemnation.
Chapter 5: Rise to National Prominence and Trump Era. The 2016 presidential election of Donald Trump proved to be a watershed moment for Charlie Kirk and TPUSA. Kirk was an early and vocal supporter of Trump, seeing his campaign as a direct challenge to the establishment and a reflection of the populist conservative sentiment that TPUSA aimed to mobilize. This alignment significantly elevated Kirk's profile, making him a frequent guest on conservative media outlets and a fixture at Trump rallies and events. His ability to connect with young conservatives and articulate pro-Trump talking points made him an invaluable asset to the broader conservative movement during this period. The Trump administration often praised TPUSA's efforts, and Kirk became a prominent voice defending the president's policies and actions, solidifying his status as a key figure within the Make America Great Again movement.
Chapter 6: Expanding the Empire. TPUSA's broadening reach beyond campus activism. Kirk and TPUSA continued to diversify their influence. The organization launched major national events like AmericaFest, bringing together thousands of young conservatives for speeches, networking, and entertainment. Kirk also ventured into other media, launching the Charlie Kirk Show podcast, which became a highly rated political podcast, and making regular appearances on national television and radio. TPUSA also created various offshoots, including TPUSA Faith, and initiatives focused on high school students, expanding their reach beyond traditional college campuses. This strategic expansion aimed to build a comprehensive ecosystem for conservative youth, providing content, community, and opportunities for political engagement at various levels of education and beyond.
Chapter 7: Post-Trump Era and New Challenges.
Following the 2020 presidential election and the subsequent departure of Donald Trump from office, Charlie Kirk and TPUSA navigated a new political landscape. Kirk remained a vocal critic of the Biden administration and continued to champion conservative causes, focusing on issues like election integrity, critical race theory, and perceived government overreach. He actively engaged in debates surrounding vaccine mandates, educational policies, and the evolving culture wars. While the immediate post-Trump era presented new challenges for the conservative movement, Kirk maintained and even grew his influence, becoming a leading voice in articulating the frustrations and aspirations of a significant segment of the American right. His podcast and social media presence became crucial platforms for disseminating his views and mobilizing his base.
Chapter 8: The Influence of Faith and Social Conservatism.
A significant aspect of Charlie Kirk's public persona and the TPUSA movement is the strong emphasis on faith and social conservatism. Over the years, Kirk has increasingly integrated Christian principles into his political rhetoric, positioning traditional religious values as fundamental to the American identity and conservative movement. This focus culminated in the creation of TPUSA Faith, a dedicated initiative to mobilize the religious right and engage them in political action. Kirk often speaks at churches and religious gatherings, advocating for policies that align with socially conservative viewpoints on issues such as abortion, gender identity, and the role of religion in public life. This spiritual dimension provides a powerful moral framework for his activism and resonates deeply with a substantial portion of his base, distinguishing his approach from purely economic or libertarian conservative movements. Chapter 9. The American Comeback Tour and the Final Speech. As of September 2025, Charlie Kirk had embarked on a new, ambitious series of campus events titled the American Comeback Tour. The tour was designed to reignite conservative fervor among young people and engage in direct, on-campus debates about the pressing issues facing the country. It was at one of these events at Utah Valley University on September 10, 2025, that Kirk made what would become his final public address. In front of a crowd of over 3,000, he spoke with his characteristic impassioned and provocative style. Just moments before the tragic event, he was in a heated back and forth with a student about the topic of mass shootings. Kirk's final recorded words, in response to a student's question about the number of mass shootings in the U.S., were, "Counting or not counting gang violence?" This final exchange, captured on video and widely circulated, served as a poignant and unsettling conclusion to his career. The speech encapsulated his confrontational style and his willingness to challenge what he perceived as mainstream narratives, even in his final moments. Chapter 10. The Assassination and Its Aftermath. On that fateful day, at approximately 12:23 p.m. MDT, a lone sniper's bullet ended Kirk's life. The shot came from the rooftop of a nearby building, and the perpetrator, later identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, fled the scene, triggering a massive manhunt. The assassination sent shockwaves through the United States and became a central point of the nation's political divide. The Utah governor, Spencer Cox, described it as a political assassination, noting that the suspect's motives appeared to be politically driven. Authorities found bullet casings with engraved messages that were overtly anti-fascist, and online chats revealed Robinson had become increasingly radicalized. In the days since the attack, the country has seen a dramatic response. Kirk's supporters have rallied around his memory, with many on the right calling him a martyr for the conservative cause. President Trump has announced his intention to award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and his wife Erica has vowed to continue his work. Conversely, the event has reignited debates about political rhetoric and the rise of violence. It has also led to a significant crackdown on online speech and celebratory posts about his death, with officials in the Trump administration threatening action against foreigners who make light of the assassination. Charlie Kirk's death, at the height of his influence, has not only ended his story, but has also fundamentally altered the trajectory of the conservative movement he helped build, leaving a void and a legacy that will be fiercely debated for years to come.